small business development. These two entrepreneurs bring real-life experience, laughter, and, well, just a ton of knowledge on how to build your small business and make it thrive. After all, this is your creation. Now learn how to make it sing. In the Know with Steph and Joe airs Fridays at 3 p.m. right here on 216 The Net. Like, follow Steph's books and Restoration One of Cary, along with 216 The Net on Facebook, and subscribe to the 216 The Net YouTube channel. Today, Philanthropy. Philanthropy.
Mr. Anthropy?
Mr. Anthropy.
Mr.
Watch the fade out.
Oh, that was fancy. Look at you getting all fancy over there.
I did you guys right. It was horrible the last couple of weeks.
Listen, so our money's finally paying off?
That's it.
Philanthropy.
Philanthropy.
Who's that? What does he mean? Question, comment. What's philanthropy? Some people may not actually know what that means.
Okay, tell us then.
Oh, you want me to keep talking?
Yes.
All right, fine. So, I don't know.
This is your topic, Joe.
Well,
awesome.
Philanthropy is, the giving back to the world. I'm not going to Google it. I'm just going to use it off the top of my brain. It's me. It's giving back. It's volunteering. It's making sure that people in your community are taken care of, things of that nature, to where you're taking care of either environment, social issues, whatever it may be, but it's all volunteer. You're not doing it to make money. That's philanthropy.
So I read an article.
Ooh.
And there's the differences between philanthropy, volunteering, and charitable contributions.
Oh, do tell.
So like philanthropy is more of like a long game, and you're committed to whatever said whatever environmental awareness or whatever, or give back. Like that's a long game, and you're doing you're dedicated to it. Charitable contributions, it's an instant, immediate gratification because you just write a check, give it to them, and you're done. And then volunteering is donating your time to things, in whatever capacity.
Could be long term,
Right.
Could be short term, but that's strictly time, not money.
Right. So there's
could
differences.
Could some kind of volunteering be philanthropy, in the sense that like philanthropy is long term, volunteering could be long term in that like I give my time to something.
Well, so like if you volunteer at a specific like event, that's an isolated event.
Good call. Okay.
If you're doing philanthropy, it's more of like you're committed to like, I don't know, like if there's like kids in need of McHenry County.
Right.
So you would be like on their board and committed to ensuring that those kids and that organization is well taken care of with their events and their backpack thing that they do, and and all of that.
So do we God, okay, first off, hang on, we don't have a black screen here. We have a black screen.
We have a black screen.
We have a black screen. So Ken, if we have anybody chiming in, you're gonna have to just
a big shout out to Mr. Tim Santos. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Tim.
Tim does a lot of philanthropy.
Ooh, he does. Does he? It's volunteering. Is it?
Tim's on the board for the Rise Up Foundation.
What is that? That's on the board, so he's continuing along,
and he's growing it, and he's meeting with people to expand it,
and Rise Up gives too, because let's make sure that
City of McHenry,
just the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's specific to the city.
Right. So
why do you keep grabbing your hands? Like you're still on camera. People could still see
I can't see myself, so that means I'm not on camera anymore. The screen is black that we normally look at.
The hands are cramped.
But for him
they're
the Jumbotron.
I'm doing what's the Dolphins quarterback? What did he do? Is it too soon? Seizing up. I'm seizing up. Too soon?
Too soon.
So he is in a multiple year role where he is giving back to the community to build the community and raise money. It's all volunteer work. He doesn't make a dime off of it. Right. He doesn't get paid, right? Yeah. That, to me, you're right, is philanthropy.
Because I think like the first year he did like most of the food truck securing and stuff. I'm pretty sure
he did a lot of work.
Is what he did like the first year, and then the second year they took care of those people so good that they came back and did the second year, which
is amazing.
Because you and I both volunteered there.
I was security.
Yeah. Oh, and Kent was there too. Yeah, Kent volunteered as well.
You were security
in VIP.
Didn't you feel secure
the first night?
I was there the first night. I broke into VIP, so no. VIP
wasn't my section.
VIP was not secure.
You had access to VIP because you had to clean the poopers.
So. Broke
But so
housekeeping. Okay, fair enough. All right, back on track. So philanthropy wise, he drives and goes and does, and mom says hi. Hi, Linda. He drives and does and goes and spends massive amounts of time to build that platform and that give back body, right? That 501c3, was that what you call it? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So
it's a non-for-profit, yeah.
Right. He's literally building, and that's could be literally the difference between anything you're doing is if you're working volunteering for a company that makes money that isn't a 501c3, then you should literally be looking at yourself going, what is my money going to? Right? I think even if you do give to a 501c3, you should still understand where your money goes, right? Knowing what you're giving to.
Yeah. I mean, because we touched base on this on the show a couple weeks ago when we were talking about upcoming events and things like that. And I don't like writing the check and giving the check. I would rather either get the item that they're needing or I would rather donate my time to things.
Ditto.
And I don't think that I have the availability right now to do something to be like a philanthropist. I think I'm more of a volunteerer. I think is more my strong suit. But
hang on now. Okay, so
like I like one-off little projects of fun. So like volunteering at Rise Up, that was fine and good. Doing the candy canes for McHenry County Kids in Need.
Totally.
When you and I did the Habitat for Humanity and painted that house.
Totally, for the vet.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like that's all, or
fine and dandy.
Or lovely. Sponsoring like golf holes for Gigi's Playhouse. Like that's all stuff like I like to do and that's all fun. Or when my mom made me be the Easter bunny at a woman's shelter and did pictures with the kids. Or
you're the shortest Easter bunny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the only Easter bunny, but yeah. And then I did, or I was like an elf and
perfect size.
Handed out candy canes.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, hand from the back.
She also plays the role of Andre the Giant in midget wrestling.
Yes, my singlet is amazing.
That's wrong. I'm sorry.
Singlet.
All right.
I believe they call that a unitard.
Yeah.
No, wrestling it's a singlet.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
Did not know that.
All right, so our good friends at Oxford, the Oxford language, defines philanthropy as the desire to promote the welfare of others, expressed especially by the generous donation of money to good causes.
See, I would have taken it in the same context that Steph said it, where it's a prolonged period of giving.
Because aren't those people like they start the charities, they put together those like those dinners that they sell like the tickets to, like they're gonna raise like a bunch of money, but like they put all that together. And I don't know if you've ever thrown an event at that caliber, but to do that and have auctions and have people be able to donate that, like that's a job and a half in itself.
Yeah, but let's face it, if you're putting that kind of an event together, you're not doing that event yourself. You're paying for a event planner to do it for you.
I would say if the charity is just starting, that's you. That's you, buddy.
But
no. But what I'm saying though is in the theory of that definition right there, the and you typically think about it, it's your, and I just know these people because I've been around them before, but Pat and Shirley Ryan. I was just in the Lyric Opera House a week ago, Friday evening. In fact,
the Fiddler on the Roof, right?
Right after the show, I went there and I dropped my kids and wife off so they could get in and make the show. And I went and parked the car unselfishly. So I couldn't make it into the show, unfortunately. However, there's TV screens because I walked in the lobby and I could have gotten in, but I saw TV screens all over playing video of the live feed of the show. And so I was able to watch that whilst still walking around with a beer throughout the entire grand lobby. And you see all these, they're probably 12 feet tall, 3 feet wide, and just a list of the charitable donations in this field and that field and blah, 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 right? And they got each 12 foot by 3 foot glass pane that's hanging on the wall is just listed with people in all different, levels. Go ahead.
And Carrie Turner, the real head turner.
Glory be. What does she
welcome
have to say?
into the show. She just wanted to just say he didn't want to valet park. He could have made it, but still a martyr.
So I'm going through, let's get back to the story here. So I'm going through this grand lobby in the Lyric Opera House, and there's all these charitable donations made at some point in the Lyric Opera House's life, right? Whether they did this drive or that drive. I don't know how they separated them out, right? But at the top of every line, in the top tier, was Pat and Shirley Ryan. Right? Like they're throwing massive money out there and they're constant. But so to me, that's kind of like a philanthropic thing. They're just giving money, right? To me, that's the definition of philanthropy, is to literally just give that massive amount of money and create that
something that's good for society.
That wind trust of money, or that windfall of money for that establishment, to create a lasting fund, a legacy type fund, right? Where that's philanthropy, right?
I like that.
Yeah. So that to me is philanthropy, which I looked at it differently, and maybe I'm being corrected here in my mind now, but I looked at it differently, as though I'm going to go and join. I'm part of the Rotary, right? And so the Rotary is in what I thought of as a philanthropic group that goes out and does great things. And you do give quite a bit of money.
Their philanthropic work would be with polio.
They do quite a bit. A lot of it is with polio. A very big one is polio, but you give a lot of money. Like I pay dues. I do this, I do that. A lot of it all goes to that money that goes to what the Rotary is part of. So I'm part of a philanthropic thing, but still we do things around the community that they need the physical labor. And in my mind, I joined the Rotary to do those things and give back to the community. And the physical work is what I find to be the philanthropic part of what I'm doing with Rotary. It's a group that I've joined for the long term, but it's the physical work. Yeah, I could give a few bucks here and there each week, but it really is, to me, that physical work that gets that, that helps them out. And that's where I think that's where I defined it. But if it is based on literally monetary value, damn it, I'm a piece of shit. I don't give a lot of money. No, I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, a volunteer is, I went and volunteered a few hours at this soup kitchen.
Right? One time. Well, but
once a year.
But is the person that goes every week not a volunteer?
Or are they philanthropic?
I would find it hard to believe that it's only monetary, because I feel like the level of time that goes into putting on these non-for-profit charity events and things is insane. Because
totally,
like I know,
whether you're doing it yourself or you're paying somebody else to do it, you're still putting up either time or money, one or the other. Are we create?
And I feel like my time has a value on it, though.
So are we keeping time and money equal?
I think it's equal.
Like if you're giving a lot of money throughout time, Or are you giving your time throughout time? Are those two equal things? As far as
I mean, time I can never
philanthropy?
get back. Money I could make again.
Tim says, my time is money. And that's true if you're a business owner, right?
But I feel like I could always, like I could give my time and then tomorrow I have a new set of 24 hours.
Right.
Money, if I give you the money, like that's it.
You got to go
like
make
I
it
gotta
back.
go make more money,
Which takes time.
which takes time. Right. So I feel like time and money should be of similar value.
So are you cutting your expenses or cutting your expenses by just giving time instead of money? Because if you go and work for
I just feel like
your money,
for some people
you have
it's
expenses that you have to take out of your money, and then
Right.
your time is worth less.
But I think it's easier for some people to cut a check and then they did their good deed and now they're moving on to something else. I think it takes more effort to give your time than it does to write the check. Especially when
You
you're
think
somebody
so?
like if you're somebody that has like
It depends on how much money you have versus giving, I think.
Yeah.
Because I could say I have a relative that can give, he could give, we'll say a 5-digit number. Whatever 5-digit number you can think of, he could give a 5-digit number and it would be a mere,
right.
little flicker in his
But I think that would be
checkbook, right?
easier for him to do that.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
do
Than
the
to give the time.
Right. So that's
But for me, I'd rather give the time than any kind of
But I
5-digit
don't-
number.
like I don't care. Like I could have $1 billion. I feel like there's more value and more commitment to something. Like I have to be more passionate about something to be willing to give my time versus write a check. Like writing a check, I could just do and it goes away and whatever. And I did my feel good moment and I got my little plaque.
Gotcha.
Giving my time, like I have to really be invested in that
So you think
thing.
blood, sweat, tears is
I think there's
way
more value.
more valuable,
Right.
hand over fist?
Yeah, but that's just, obviously my opinion. But
No, I think that's
So
fair. I agree
Google,
with you.
Carrie
Google?
says,
Oh.
Google says, a Greek term which directly translated means love of mankind. Philanthropy is an idea, event, or action that is done to better humanity and usually involves some sacrifice as opposed to being done for a profit motive. Acts of philanthropy include donating money to a charity, volunteering at a local shelter, or raising money to donate to cancer research.
Yeah.
So we're
Drop the
all
mic.
right. By Greek terminology, we're all right.
Yeah. Well, it's Greek to me.
Waka waka waka.
Uh,
Do you know what makes a dad joke a dad joke? It's a parent. He can't hit it fast enough.
Eli loves to hear Kent's dad jokes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
loves a good dad joke. He's
Do
the
you
only
know?
one that
Do you know?
laughs.
Do you know the difference between an enzyme and a hormone? What? You can't make you can't hear an enzyme, but you can hear a.
Chicken out on that one? Chicken
No,
out.
I didn't want.
I never was good at science. Anyway, Linda, Mom says that time is precious.
Yeah.
So if we all, so do we? Are we coming to the consensus that giving time is more valuable in general to giving the equal amount of money, relatively speaking?
Here's the deal.
You got to know variables as far as what you make and what you.
Let's unpack a little bit about the Greek meaning, and
Baby.
it involves some sacrifice as opposed to being done for a profit motive. So if I'm there volunteering and I've got the 216 the net hat on and I'm trying to
Get my picture in there. Yeah. Right.
That's not philanthropy, right? If I'm writing that check because it's a tax donation, again, not philanthropy.
Mhm.
It has to be a sacrifice as opposed to being done for profit.
I.e., Steph was out.
Mhm.
She might have had a Steph's Book shirt on, but you and I were out, and you were out there sweating, cursing, and trying to reach the highest spot you could get, which was just above the 4-foot bush line when you were painting the side of that house.
I didn't have my Steph's Book shirt on. I just had a T-shirt that I was willing to get paint on.
Anyway,
yeah.
But
Right.
what I'm saying though is, if you were
Yeah.
there, right, like you would literally had been, you were not there to literally get your picture taken saying, hey, I'm here volunteering as Steph's books. You're there saying, no, I'm here to get some freaking paint on this house to help this guy out. And we all sweat that day. I mean, we all worked hard.
Sweaty.
Right. We all worked hard. We all got the job done, whether some people were afraid of heights and climbed up or she did not.
So Tim says, hey, my week at Rise Up personally cost me around $5,000, right? And saved the foundation money by not having to hire somebody at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So the time equaled money on both sides, right? And that while he's doing that he wasn't doing it for profit, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was doing it for there was a sacrifice there, right?
And that's where, so for like him, he's literally helping a foundation, an establishment. He's helping an establishment get work done for something they would have had to pay to have done. So you're literally lowering expenses.
Right. Carrie says, I think philanthropy is an individual act, not a company contribution. Company acts are wonderful, but they are quote unquote promotional. They're not the same.
Totally.
Oh,
totally.
Good. I'm glad that Carrie said that because I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel...
It's your show. You should have the answer.
We're in the know, Steph.
Right.
So do you feel like there is an immense amount of pressure as a business owner to give back at some capacity, whether it's financial or volunteering? Like, I feel like I get hit up like all the time by various people and organizations and things, but like when I was just a random W-2, nobody called me.
I think once you start and people see your logo or your name associated with other charitable events or companies or whatever, I think once you start giving to other events and you're seen giving, then people start reaching out to you, because in the beginning, no, we people weren't reaching out to us going, hey, give us money. I mean, maybe
I got hit up by like every baseball team. I'm like, who wants Steph's books on the back of their jerseys?
We got hit. Well, it's not that they want Steph's books on the back of their jersey. They want the money that you're paying because that pays for the jerseys, right? Like they want the money, so they're out soliciting the sponsor. Mm-hmm. We got hit up, and we actually got scammed by somebody reaching out for a local school that asked us to sponsor the baseball team, and they literally sent us a physical jersey or t-shirt. I still have the t-shirt that they sent us. And said, here it is. And they put the real logo of the local school on the front and all the old logos from the back, and reprinted it and sent it to us. And we sent them some money, and they did not make the news, and we were not a sponsor, and they were not legit. So,
that's crazy.
We got scammed. Yeah. We got scammed. And that was in the beginning when we were young and dumb. Mm-hmm. And I think if people are reaching out to you, you should be very leery.
Well, I mean, I only do the events that I see, like that I like have a
right. You know like what they are,
passion for or whatever.
Right.
Like I'll do stuff for for the kids. I'll do stuff for veterans. I'll do stuff for animals. But like when we really outside of that, it's
when we were new, we wanted to support our local communities, and this was a great way to support our local communities. And I really wanted to do it.
Don't you do the street too?
We do so much. Oh God, we do so many. If you really want to dive into how much we do, we could do that. But no, we do enough. But we in the very beginning, I think this was before the street. Was we wanted to support our local communities, and a baseball team reached out, and we got into it, and we were like, yeah, let's do it. And we sent them money, and then we reached out to the baseball team, and they're like, that's not us. And we're like, oh, screw it. Damn it. Yep. Got hosed on that one. So, yeah, got. So, but that's literally like, what do you do? So that gave us a bad taste. So we've literally never gone down supporting sports teams ever again.
Yeah.
Well, got tainted on that.
Did you and Carrie like have a whole... conversation before you guys opened your doors about what you were going to do, like for your give back into the community? Or was it just kind of as it's coming down the pipeline, you guys are just rolling with it?
I think everybody knows we have 4 dogs.
Right.
We love animals, specifically dogs, but all animals. Kent has a question, but we'll get to
Finish
that.
Finish your thought. Yeah.
So we love. So we know we're going to support animals.
Like, did you build that in as part of your like budgeting and planning strategy?
No,
that
was my question. That was yours. Is like how to build it in. So no, in the beginning, I don't think you should plan for any kind of philanthropy or give back in the beginning. You should plan on building your business to be able to give back and do those kind of things. Yeah. You should not be planning to do it while you're building your business, because you should have one sole focus is to build your business. And if you can't do that, how are you going to give back, right? Like, you're literally giving out of your own pocket, and to commit to giving back in the beginning is asinine, because you're just giving out of the pocket that's feeding you. So I think in the beginning, no, we did not have any aspect of giving back. Yeah. The goal is always, I will say this. No, we did. And when we started this, we started our company. We were looking into what company to start, and I'll sum it up real quick. We were looking into what company to start. We started looking into franchises. We got introduced to a franchise broker. The franchise broker said, "What are you interested in? What do you want in a franchise, and what do you want to do with this franchise?" And my wife and I both sat down and said, "We want to have this franchise be a part of the community and be a major part of giving back to the community." So when we were establishing our company, before we established our company, it was all about being an integral part of the community and giving back to the community and making sure that we are part of the community and hiring from the community and all that kind of stuff.
Well, clearly, because you guys are an emergency response service.
Well,
in the
that
community
happened to fall into our lap. But okay, we walk into a job and we're charging the insurance company to make money. We're making a profit off of what we do.
Yeah, but I know. But I'm just saying, like, not from a
it's not giving back.
Not like from that aspect.
We're not
I'm
making
just saying,
a sacrifice.
Like, the overall like foundation of your company is to help your community.
Correct.
Even though it's for a profit, but your overall foundation of your business is for that. So that now,
I could easily say I'm not doing 24 hours and not sacrifice, the stress and pain of being a 24-hour business.
Carrie's on the phones like 24/7.
24/7.
So,
right. Literally the stress and pain of being on the phones 24/7 is part of being part of of what our company is giving to the community. But to me, that's what our company should be doing as our company.
Right.
Right? Like, as Steph's books, you're there to do what your company says you're going to do.
Yeah. I mean, like, because like when we were opening Steph's books, like Rich and I had talked and whatever, because I like volunteering and doing like random little fun things and stuff. So we knew that I would volunteer time on things. We never talked about a financial aspect, but obviously over time, the financial aspect comes into play, because
that's where,
for the McHenry County Kids in Need, we donated and made all of those like 300 candy cane reindeers. So
which you donated not just your time, but
so then
literally your money, in the sense that you paid
for the
employee.
Thing. And then the kids, and then the kids really enjoyed it because they got a little treat with Santa that they didn't have the previous year.
That's awesome.
So then now we've been requested to do it again, which we totally are. And so,
to get the call back I just want to say is amazing. If you do something once and then the next time it comes around and somebody says, "Hey, can you come do that again?" That to me says, "Oh, awesome. This is amazing."
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tim just says, "Hey, Joe, if you want to trust a sports team or sports organization, you can donate or sponsor Northern United FC, a nonprofit soccer club here in McHenry that I serve on the board of as director of community relations. You can trust them, Joe."
Isn't Tim also a coach too?
He is. I think he is. Yeah. Oh. I think he is. He's wearing a lot of hats over there as a volunteer.
That brother's spread thinner than a. Never mind.
What were you gonna say?
They would have had to go on bridging civil tenure.
Dirty.
But yeah, because I feel like sometimes, even though whatever, being judgy is just a part of whatever, but I feel like some of the businesses that don't give back, I feel like some people are judgy to them about that, and I don't feel like they should be judged. I feel like that's your own personal journey and your own personal decision.
Well, not only that, but it may be your personal decision to give back when you can, but your business may not be able to give back because you have a restaurant that has much thinner margins that takes a lot longer. We went through COVID, right? To just judge somebody by face value of seeing them not ever giving isn't something to me that, do you know that their home is beautiful and gorgeous and giant and they're driving around in Escalades with rims? Yeah, but if you work really hard for
that, you should be able to have that.
Well, you should be able to have that, but in my mind, if you have that, you should also be able to give a minimal percentage back.
So you're going to do it like how the churches do?
No. I hated church.
Well, that's what it is, though. You have to give it. You're expected as a pillar of the community or a member of the
no,
right?
No,
isn't that what it is? Like 3%? 10%. Oh shit! I thought
Holy
it was 3
balls! Really?
But I'm just saying, like, I feel
in
like
my mind,
if you work hard, like I'm, like obviously, like I do whatever I can do,
right?
But like, I just feel like if you worked really, really hard, like for me personally, and I don't know if I'll regret saying this on air.
You're gonna, if you just said that, you're gonna. Go ahead, say it.
In all due respect.
Let's all ears on the radio speakers. Let's go.
For me personally, out of everything and opportunity to give back to, I would have the hardest time giving back to adults that are able to work that choose not to work. If I'm going
100%.
If I'm going
100%.
to put in the hours that I put into working and to be able to have that nice car or that nice house or whatever, or go on a vacation, I don't feel like it's fair for somebody that's not even helping themselves to judge what I do on the, on the thing. Like I should be able to have these things because I work for them, and this is a product of me working. It's not just somebody handed me $1 million and was like,
"Hey, go. Yeah. Here's your $1 million. Go have fun."
Like, it's not like that. Like, it took a lot of time and effort to get, to a certain point, or a comfortable point, or whatever you want to say.
Right. So if you get to that certain point and you're making substantial money and you're at that certain point and you're feeling comfortable, when do you feel is the moment where you go, "Okay, I'm good. I can give a little money to somebody else"?
I mean, I just do random things here and there. Like, for example,
that's what I'm saying.
When I went to, because we just celebrated our 5 years in business on October 5th.
Right.
So I had posted.
Yeah.
So I had posted on Facebook or whatever. So then and everybody knows I love Starbucks. So I thought it would be like a fun thing, and I paid for people behind me. Like, I'm celebrating, so you're celebrating. And since the ladies at the window know me, they said what I said I'm assuming, I'm pretty confident they did, to the cars behind that I'm celebrating. So here's a little
way to
part of my celebration, while celebrating.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of, paid for a few of the cars behind me as a pay it forward kind of thing. But it's not like it was a lot of money. But I, in the moment, had a few extra dollars, so I did. But normally, I am not a money person that would give money to things.
You give time.
Yes.
Time is everything.
For me, yeah. Because then I
could see. So at what point do you feel somebody has made, whether it be monetary value or asset value or whatever, at what point do you look at somebody and say, "Wow, you've made a lot of money, and I've never seen you give anything"? Or we know that
I ever say to somebody, or like,
never, just in your mind or behind, never ever, you wouldn't even think that.
No, not even like even if somebody that had like Bill Gates money or Elon Musk money and they didn't give back financially, I wouldn't.
It's not a problem to you.
I wouldn't think anything of it because
you wouldn't look down on them.
No, they worked that hard to get to where they're at, and if they don't feel on their personal journey that they're able to do that and they want to make a lineage for their bloodline, that's their choice. Just like if you are at a certain level and you choose to give money back versus time back, then that's your own personal journey and choice. And I don't feel like anybody should judge somebody for them doing it or not doing it, because as a W-2 employee, nobody expects you to do any of that.
I love that perspective. Interesting. So if that's the case, do you feel that if I were to be, sitting on my mountain with my giant castle and everybody's scraping at the door and I have all the money, it's okay? And all the food?
Do I think it's okay?
Yeah.
Well, I think you're an asshole, and I think that
Well, that's what I'm saying.
you're gonna get over.
What certain point is there a point where you say, "All right, come on"?
Well, I mean, like if you are
Give
the
a
king
little
of
to
the castle, that's
yeah.
a different thing.
Yertle the turtle.
Like if you were in
Anybody know
England,
that reference? Do you know that reference?
No, but if
you don't know Yertle the turtle,
no, but
Shut
if
the
you
fuck
were
up.
like a
It's
king
Dr.
and
Seuss.
these were your people.
That's Yertle the turtle.
Okay, so fine. So if you're a king and those are your people and you're not providing them, then you're failing as your duties.
Well, I'm not the
a king.
leader. I'm not. No.
But I'm just saying,
no.
like, if you're in some
Bob
castle
Smith
and you're
is
some
over
whatever.
here. Bob Smith is over here leading the world.
But if it's
Joe
like
Turner's
the grasshopper
over-
and the ant, then
Joe Turner's over
right?
here.
That's a story. Right? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Which
The
one's
grasshopper
that?
and the
See,
ant.
never heard that one. Is that a Dr. Seuss?
No, it's a book. It's like where the
Dr. Seuss is a book?
the ant
He's an
spends
author.
all of this time preparing and putting food away and getting ready for winter, and the grasshopper
That's
is
like an ancient fable.
yeah,
or
and the
something.
grasshopper
Okay.
is like joking around and whatever, and then come
Got it.
winter,
And then
the grasshopper is knocking on the ant's door after he was just
can you
making
give me
fun of him.
food? Right. Totally.
So would I feel bad for the grasshopper? No, because of how hard I work and how hard I bust my ass, I wouldn't feel bad for him. And that's why I don't do that.
I'm not. But that's you working hard and somebody
Right.
else not working hard.
Right.
What I'm asking you though is if you go and if you are sustaining your life and you're working your normal average Joe life,
Right.
right, and you're making your money and you give back your time as you can here and there, right? But then there's Billy Bob that's up here that discovered the combine, and he's now made this billions of dollars, and he rules, southern plains of all the farm fields of the world.
Okay.
Right? And so Billy Bob rules it all, and all the farmers are all, poor and whatnot, and Billy Bob's sitting on his mountain ruling the world in his castle, and everybody's poor and has no money, and Billy Bob has all the money, he's got all the food, and he's got everything. At what point do you look at Billy Bob and go, come on, Billy Bob, just throw a little shekels down to some people, a little grain, give them a little something.
I feel like
I'm just asking where
scenarios and stories though aren't like I feel
realistic.
I feel like if somebody was like the monarch or whatever of that,
yes.
Eventually the community as a whole and the society as a whole is going to uprise and take over that said castle or situation. Somebody working hard and having money in the bank is a very different thing and situation, because like my grandma, who was born in 1931, she obviously lived through the Depression, and her father, so my great grandfather, was a jeweler, and he had his own jewelry store on Michigan Avenue and stuff.
Wow.
So they lived reasonably comfortable during that time and period, which was very difficult.
Right.
But then, so my grandma said that she would go with her dad and give some bread or food or whatever to other people in their apartment building that were not as whatever. But that was their choice. They weren't forced to do it. So I think even if they chose not to do it, you shouldn't judge them, because it's not their fault that he has a skill that he brought from another country to take care of his family.
Fair, but
they were also doing that not knowing what tomorrow was going to bring, especially living through the Great Depression.
Because they're great people.
Right. I'm not saying that like those people that don't do things are great people. I'm just saying that it's their own choice. And if they worked that hard to be that successful, then it's their choice to do that and they shouldn't be judged on it. But if it's a different thing where they are a member, like if it's a king in a castle and these are all his community
subjects,
people,
right? Whatever.
That's a very different situation and story. He has to do something. Otherwise, there's going to be an uprising and they're going to take it over.
Fair enough.
You know, I mean, like they're going to all band together and work together as a community.
That's my question is like, where is the line kind of like drawn where you start to say, hey, I've now made enough? Is it, I mean, obviously it's all personal internally, like where's the threshold
but like,
where
who
you go,
are you to like
I'm
judge,
comfortable,
though? Like,
I can.
Like if you look at somebody that
where
has,
am I
like,
to judge?
Right. Like if somebody has this house or this car or whatever, and you just assume because you've never seen their bank accounts, you never see nothing. So you just assume that they have this money to sustain this lifestyle, that they must have a surplus to give out.
No.
But you said if they have this house and this Cadillac with the rims and the spinning rims and this and that, like,
well, yeah,
so then you assume.
So there's certain things I look at, but yeah, I'm going to look at multiple factors.
Have you ever heard of fake it till you make it kind of thing? Like,
yeah, and that's where I say, okay, if you're spending all your money on this bullshit.
But who are you to say that they shouldn't have that after you just went out and bought whatever you bought?
What did I buy?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Whatever you buy.
A bunch of weed?
Well, okay, fine. That probably isn't. But you probably spend as much, if not more, than I spend in a year at Starbucks.
Quite possibly, yeah. Which I'm not saying that Starbucks is bad or Portillo's.
But I'm just saying, like, who am I to say how you should spend your money?
You shouldn't.
And who am I to assume that you actually have the money though to give? Like that's what I'm saying is like
I'm not saying
you're looking
to give
at somebody,
the money. I'm not saying to give the money. That's my thing though. Is if you're rolling around and you are flaunting your money, you should be giving your time. There should be some kind of in my mind. You're putting this
expectation on people.
Yes, yes, I am. Yes, there should be some kind. What is that? Socialist? Am I a socialist? I don't know. Capitalist?
I'm confused.
I'm a socialist.
You're not a capitalist.
No, I'm not a capitalist. I clearly am a socialist. Apparently, that's a socialist. I don't care. But all I'm saying though is that yes, I think that if you are able to make X amount of money, and let's say that you have made this money, you buy your Mercedes, BMW, you wear your bright suit, right? You got whatever you got and you're rolling around and you feel really good about yourself, but you know, the friends you got or the people you got or whatever are not doing as well. In my mind, no, you're only as good as the people around you. So either you're going to go live in that very high wealthy society. Now you're going to be paying a lot more money anyway. So you're going to be paying so you're either leveling up or you're giving back in my mind. Level up, and you hit that certain level. And now you got to give back because people are going to look at you. And if you're not giving back with your money, what are you doing with it?
Making a legacy for your bloodline?
At some point, you got a legacy made.
But who are you to say when that dollar amount is my question. Like, what value to you? Like, if somebody had $1 million in their bank account, that might be your tipping point where they should start giving back at a monetary level. I'm just using that number.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But, like, what happens if, like, me personally, I'm like, well, I feel like comfortably for me, my kids, my grandkids, I need at least 5 to 7 in my bank account to start giving back at this thing. So like, why, like, you can't tell me that I'm at $1 million and I have this nice car to then now it's at that level to give back. Like it's like it's something that would be personal. And I don't feel like it's fair to judge people if they choose not to do it. Like, are you an asshole? Yeah, kind of. But it's not, for me to like really say.
But if you were to not give back and you're at that $1 million and you're doing this and you're doing that, and the people around you though are suffering or not making money or whatever it may be, how do you work through life?
well, you're going to have a hard time. Eventually, you're going to lose your friends or your group or this or that.
So that to me is where I just think, and it's not, in my mind, it's not expectations of other people. Somebody just
my mom says, just because you choose to bust your ass and your best friend is a lazy piece of shit, why should I have to give them anything?
I didn't say you have to give it to your best friend.
Well, you say like saying, your company you keep, so that would be your friend.
Well, so listen to me though. So name me somebody where you go in and you walk into your friend group and you're the most wealthiest person there, and you know they're not looking to you for something, asking for something. That's a shitty friend group. If you're the wealthiest person, they're always asking for something.
Do you talk about money with your friends?
No.
So then they wouldn't know.
No.
Like, you know, like
some of them do just because they deal with my money, but
I'm just saying, like, they don't know like how much you have, and it's not like you.
True,
like,
but
I'm not judging the way you dress, but I'm just saying you don't dress like you
make money.
Well, like, I mean, you dress like a contractor.
I dress like a bum.
So
you
like,
can say it. You can say it.
You know, but like I dress like I'm in hoodie and jeans as well. Like it's not like
what I'm saying though is
you know, like how would they know?
It's not if they know, it's the perceived notion of.
Right. And that's why the subprime lending market is so profitable. Right, Ken?
That is true.
Here we go.
I'm just saying that people are just, what is it called? Credit card rich?
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, is yeah, they are. That's what I'm saying, though, is if you're out spending your money and doing all this stuff, in my mind, if you're not giving back in some form or fashion, then I can see through your money or your perceived money, right? And that, in my mind, name me somebody out there that makes a little bit of money but does not give anything back.
I mean, I think that
all people give money back.
I think that all people give back in some capacity, whether they have money or no money. I mean, there's people that have nothing and they give as much of their time as they can to whatever charity or event. Like you don't have to have money to give back. Right. You just have to have time then at that point.
And that's where I say that I see people that throttle the money in their personal life but don't give back anything, and I see that exact what you were pointing out earlier is that exact thing of, oh, clearly they're off, because if they really were spending their money wisely, they'd have an ability to give back truly, but they're not. They're just out there blowing their cash, whatever it may be. But that to me is where I always look at somebody and go, ooh, I do judge. And if we boil this down, I do judge somebody that's not spending their money, or that is spending their money excessively and not giving back any time or money or anything, right? Because, and whatever the because is, but that's something wrong, and where I look at it and go, yeah, I'm judging you.
Yeah. I mean, like,
I think I'm allowed to judge them.
I mean, like overall, I'm just obviously just trying to play devil's advocate in this. But like, you know, I mean, as a society or as a whole, I mean, I don't think like people in your local community, I don't think that you have those people. I think you're going to take care of your own first, and then you're going to take care of others. I mean, people are obviously just going to take care.
You know your neighbors?
Do I?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Their names? No.
Yeah. Really?
Nope.
I do.
You do?
I don't know her neighbors, but I know mine.
I was gonna say, you know her neighbors. That's creepy, Kent.
Nope.
You don't know your neighbors?
Nope.
Kent, you know your neighbors. You just moved. Kudos to you, bro.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
Yeah.
You should know your neighbors. I know all my neighbors. I live in a cul-de-sac with 4 houses. I'm one of them, and the other 3 are empty nesters.
Nice.
And so my wife and I know
beautiful
them.
Neighborhood too.
Great. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Right. Thank you, Ken. It's a great neighborhood. But yeah, no, we know our neighbors because occasionally they need things. Occasionally I need something, and it's always great to reach out and give them a hand if they need something.
In my previous house, I knew my neighbors, but I was in a townhouse, so we were all connected. But
weak excuse.
But now this one, no, I don't know any of them.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty convinced that the new neighbor we have across the street might think that I'm like a drug dealer because of how often I go in and out of my house. And like I pull in the garage, and then I'm in there for 20 minutes, and then I leave, and then I come back like 7 minutes later. Like,
Are you dealing drugs?
I'm just saying.
Are you actually doing it? Because that does sound like drug
Right?
dealer
Sound a
movement.
little peculiar.
That does sound
Like-
like drug dealer
Like with
movement.
the amount of time I like come in and out
Well,
of the house.
I do the same thing, but my neighbors know that I don't deal drugs. I just do drugs, so they're cool with it. So it's also good to know your neighbors in that sense, so they don't call the cops on you.
Yeah. No, I don't know. No.
Okay, so let's talk actually doing stuff. What do you do, Steph? Like besides Kent, let's start with you. What do you do to give back to your community? Anything major that you really love to do? What's your passions?
I founded and created the Northern Illinois Diaper Bank, which is still going.
Really?
Yeah.
How do we give and donate to that?
If you check them out at northernillinoisdiaperbank.com, there's ways to donate diapers all the time. Yeah. That was, I don't know, 10 years ago or so, maybe now that we
Really?
opened that up. Yeah.
Can you throw that up in the chat so that way?
I can find it. Yeah, put it up there.
Sweet.
And then I call it donate. I donate a lot of time to coaching youth sports, ladies youth sports. So
That.
yeah, I'm a #girls dad.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and then it's just putting out great shows on 21/6.
Is that free?
Oh wait,
Is that donated time?
That's not a sacrifice.
I was gonna say, come on.
So yeah, so really, my biggest happiness, I guess, right, is the diaper bank. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Steph, what's your major passion?
What do I like to give?
Like love to give to? What's what do you give to the most?
Probably anything really dealing with kids.
One specific?
I mean, I like the McHenry County Kids in Need. Like it's all foster kids.
Mhm.
So I like being able to volunteer at the events. I like being able to, make the reindeers and whatever.
Mhm.
I
How do people connect with that? Do you know?
I know that Michelle and Don Bremer's on the board. If they go to just McHenry County Kids in Need or Kids in Need of McHenry County, they have a Facebook page and they have a web page, and then they have like a foster house where the kids go and they can see their parents and stuff in a controlled environment.
Oh, I like that.
So it's really, and then they do like a backpack thing where you help them with like backpacks and school stuff
That's
and
cool.
supplies. And so,
Yes.
yeah, they do a lot for the kids in the community. And I know up and coming now that the weather's turning, they'll be doing a thing for gloves. Gloves are always a big thing. So they're
Hats,
always looking for gloves, gloves and socks and pajamas. Those are usually like
Maybe boots too.
I don't know because it's that size specific. But
Yeah,
I know
maybe,
at doing the event that last year and being there for the holiday season, all the kids like went for the pajamas first, not the toys. It was pajamas and gloves. Like that was there, and then they got the toys or whatever.
Mhm.
But that's what they went for first. So like if you go to like the dollar store or something and you buy those, those stretchy.
How many
gloves?
kids are part of the foundation?
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know that there was like a few hundred that came to the event.
So a few hundred gloves are needed.
Mm-hmm.
Gloves and pajamas. We need a few hundred. Let's call
Yeah.
it in.
And then
the
Michelle
left-hander.
can give give the sizes for the what they need for pajama sizes for the kids and whatever, because it ranges from like young to like high school teenager kind of size.
Oh, totally. I
Yeah.
can imagine. Okay.
So yeah.
So everybody just go out and buy one of each size,
That's it.
right? That's the way to do it. If you don't know, buy them all.
Yeah. Or like the unisex styles would probably be
Styles.
the
Those are the
easiest.
best. Yeah, really, truly, like just a pair of sweatpants and a hoodie are I assume just awesome because kids can wear sweatpants and hoodies. And I know my oldest daughter, that's like the thing that's in for all these, tweens.
Or like snow pants. Snow pants are always a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, so instead of giving them to like Goodwill for them to resell, even though Goodwill is a non-for-profit.
I have
but
quite a few snow pants that
if your kids have outgrown them and you give them to there, that will go directly to the kid.
And 'tis the season, so I think everybody should be out digging through their closets and basements for all their winter gear.
Pants.
Yeah, and literally siphoning through what doesn't fit your kids, what haven't you worn in 3 years, get rid of it.
We should mention, too, that here in the Tanyan Towers at 1400 State Route 31 in McHenry, Don Tanyan, who owns the building, mentioned to us that he was going to do a Toys for Tots bin. So this location will be available for toy drop-off.
Ooh, I like that. Let's flood it. Nerf guns. That's what every kid needs. Nerf guns.
So what do you like to do?
I love the Rotary. I mean, Rotary is polio is the number one thing, but ours is very local. I'm with the Cary Grove group, and we do quite a few things. But my favorite is, literally anything that has to do with kids or has to do with just the general local community. All I want to do is do the physical labor that whoever's putting on the group can't do. Right? So every time somebody puts on an event, right, they always look at it and go, gosh, we just can't move this, massive amount of clothes from point A to point B. And I go, well, I got that handled. I can do that. Just throw it all in here and I'll boop, and I got it done. Right. And they're like, well, that's amazing. How do you move that? Right. So like, to me, I literally just want to move, like, do the work, physical work. Right. Like, so whatever most people can't do, that's what I want to get done.
I mean, I watched you load that 350-pound table that I bought for the learning center by yourself into your truck, and I just supervised, and I was
stood back in your garage.
I was surprised and impressed.
So that's where I like to come in, is where people look at something and say, so our local chamber in Cary, they just moved and they had like some things they needed done. And so they could have paid to have these done. Well, that comes out of the budget. That comes out of this. That comes out of that. Right.
Right.
I feel that those kind of things, if I could throw an hour or two of work, it saves them what could be hundreds of dollars. Right. For maybe an hour or two of my time, it saves them hundreds of dollars. Well, that to me is not a big deal. I can easily zip in there in between my appointments or my meetings or whatever, this and that, and knock it out. Right.
Right.
So in my mind, anything I can do that gives my physical time, where most people are not willing to fill that void or able to fill that void. Right. Whether it be a piece of equipment that needs to be run, literally, we did the Brew Fest. We talked about the events, and I did the Brew Fest. I was out there literally flagging in traffic because we didn't even plan on that position. Everything was handled inside the Brew Fest, so I didn't even need to be in there. And we had kind of a jumbled. It wasn't jumbled. It was, if you were intelligent, you could have pulled in and found a parking spot and understood it and done it very well. However, I feel like most people that are pulling into that kind of event aren't that intelligent to pull in and create a set pattern of parking, right? Fair enough.
Well, this has really become about you parking from, not using the valet to. So your philanthropic, your passion might be parking.
Could be. Could be. I like to wear a high vis vest, stand in the middle in front of a car and wave flags.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, at my former employer, I convinced the owners for 2 years in a row to sponsor every single person that worked at the company. So there was about 30 employees at the time when I was there. Now there's like 50, but they sponsored and did the Susan G. Komen breast walk, and they paid for everybody to do the walk.
I love that.
And stuff, because everybody's kind of touched by cancer at some capacity, I would imagine, in their family line.
Chase, we just got our 1 minute warning. The Chase Corporate Challenge downtown in Chicago. Chase does the corporate challenge, and when I was working in insurance in the corporate world, we bought into it, and they would donate for every walker runner that signed up for it. So I signed up for it, had never practiced, done anything, and went out and ran. And I really just wanted to do my personal best, but knowing that I just showed up, I'm giving back, but I'm not going to go into it and then go, oh, I'm going to run for a half a mile and walk
We
out.
have some sibling rivalry going on.
Oh, who's
Sharon?
in here?
Sharon says the oldest is always the wisest.
That's my aunt.
Oh, boy.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Because my mom said that she's not the wealthiest, but she might be the wisest. And then so now my aunt chimed in.
We got ants in here. Wow. All right. So, yeah. So I'm all about going out and going as hard as I can and giving up the physical aspect or whatever for whatever people need done.
That's right.
Mhm.
Right? Like I'm willing to lay it down to get it done because I know that not everybody can do so or is willing to do so or will do so.
Mhm.
That's it. Like to me, that's what drives me.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right,
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
I love
Fair
this.
enough. That's it for us today.
Oh man,
know,
great
Steph
show,
and Joe.
guys.
We learned a little bit of Greek today.
Did we?
Yeah, philanthropy.
Oh yeah, what's next week?
Yeah.
Should we look this up?
Yeah,
I'll
next
look it
week
up.
we're going to be talking about other stuff that Steph and Joe know
Other stuff.
that they know.
Drinking. Drinking's
Drinking.
next week.
Drinking is
Yeah, drinking. Drinking's
We're
next
talking
week.
about
Good call.
drinking responsibly at networking and
Well, like
company
just in
functions.
general, like when you're at an event, when you're doing whatever, when you're out and being in
Proper
public,
etiquette.
right? Like, yeah, proper etiquette or just
So that's-
generally like,
That's what we're talking next week. So hopefully, maybe we'll get some guests in the studio next week.
There we go.
and we'll all crack one open.
We've got moonshine, so come on. Drink
Yeah.
responsibly.
Oh God, you still have more of that?
Yeah.
It hasn't turned?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It doesn't go
Are
bad?
we going off air now?
All right.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Yeah, all right.